What's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? Part 2. Our physical presence or approach toward the user will sometimes fix the problem they are facing without any additional effort. When I'm at support, I always tell users that I scared the computer into working by showing up. I tell them I faith healed it. Also, it's so funny when they apologize when it's an easy fix. Dude, I live for the easy fix. When a car salesman offers you a premium car care package, don't buy it. It's a scam. Say you're buying a new car and I offer you the premium car care package. It'll only cost you X amount of money per month, but every time you come to the dealership, you get premium car wash. We hose it down, not a proper car wash. Interior detailing and rejuvenation, we use compressed air to make the dust go away. Sometimes a man uses a wet paper towel. Functions check and clock synchronization. Check if all the lights work, heater and AC work, and set up the clock if it's wrong. Summer and winter inspection and free wiper fluid refill, only done once per season. Check tire tread, visually check tire pressure, look at temperature gauge to make sure car isn't overheating and add water in the summer, tiny amount of wiper fluid in winter, visually inspect brake discs to see they are not scratched by worn-out brake pads. Assistance when you are on the move. You call us and then we can call a tow truck for you at your expense, only possible during business hours. Basically, we charge for simple things you can do yourself. Also, if a car dealership sells you a used car and they told you it has been fully serviced, take it to your local mechanic and have it serviced properly. Most industries have retention teams because it costs 10x more to get a new customer than it costs to keep one you have. So, if you call up and complain, threaten to cancel every other time they raise your rates, they'll probably give you the introductory rate. Just be aware you might have to switch. Edit threaten to cancel added. Edit 2. Another thing I'm seeing a lot is people getting shut down with no explanation. People hang up and call back. Just say you got disconnected, you might have better luck with another operator. Yes, they take notes, but some reps are more empowered than others. Also, feel free to escalate. Make sure you know how long you've been a customer and how long you've been up to date on your bill. A lot of people are forced to bounce back and forth between the competition because they give all the good deals to newcomers, and if you're loyal, you get rewarded with a consistently increasing bill. That last part is important. If you really want to go through the negotiation process, you have to keep your word when you threaten cancellation. Those retention teams listen to customers like that all day long. They're specifically trained to use tactics to keep you. So if you end the conversation in the same contract and don't walk when you say you'll walk, that retention person won. If you're nice to my receptionist, I will find a way to squeeze you onto my schedule. If you're a B, then you can have whatever the next available appointment is. If you make the office staff cry, you get a certified letter firing you from the practice. Long time ago lady I knew was the assistant to the prez of a mid-sized regional pest control company. There was one persistent salesperson trying to get the company onto its products. He was a really good salesman, had good products, good prices, and knew how to schmooze the bosses, but he didn't treat the assistant or the receptionist with respect. One day, the salesman walked out of a meeting with the prez thinking he had just signed a major deal. My friend, the assistant to the prez, saw him walk out. She didn't know he was there, but as soon as he walked out, the assistant walked into the prez office and said, "That's the B guy I was telling you about." Prez marched out of his office, caught up to the guy, told him the deal was off, not to come back, don't even think about treating his assistant that way. C, and then called the guy's boss just to make sure his boss knew why the deal was off. You're better off thinking the assistant receptionist is the VP in charge of first impressions. Don't know what exactly that guy did, but his mistreatment of the assistant him? If you use Libby to download ebooks from your library to your Kindle, you can turn it to airplane mode and keep the books as long as you want. The next person in line is not affected. Edit, because not everyone wants to illegally download ebooks from sketchy servers in Tuvalu. It's not any easier than what I suggested. Works with ebooks checked out through Amazon as well. I work in IT and can confidently say that providing bribery in terms of food or snack will 100% get your issue taken care of faster and will help you jump the line in the ticket queue. I call this the Swedish fish technique. Works absolute wonders for me. As a client, I regularly brought lunch to the IT guy assigned to my case when he physically had to come by. This got me his cell number and placement at the top of the queue anytime in the future. Well worth the small expense. If you know you're shipping something within a few hours drive of you, always pay for the cheaper shipping option. The premium shipping option is just a markup if you know you're sending something close by. It will arrive the same day regardless. I work at the post office. This is mostly true, but only if you have your own box packing material. Let's say you're sending something in-state, but don't have a box to send it. The lowest rate for a medium weight package could be $10 if you send it ground, and it will be there in 2 days. However, you will need a box to ship it in, and the box can cost you $3.34, so the total will be $13, maybe $14. If you send an in-state package priority flat rate in this situation, you'll pay $18 regardless of how far it's going, and it will also take 2 days. So that's a no. However, we have priority variable rate boxes that are based on weight and distance, and this could cost you $12. And because it's priority, the boxes are free, meaning you actually save money sending it priority. If you have a post office that isn't crazy busy, the best way to ship unboxed items is to bring your stuff to the counter, give them a zip code, and let them weigh it out. The weight, distance, and packing materials needed will determine the least expensive way to ship. There are many situations where going non-flat rate priority is cheaper than ground because you get free boxes and packing tape. Edit. As many people have noted, you will know if your post office is crazy busy, has bad staff, or if it just plain sucks. This happens. My advice works in good post offices. I swear good post offices exist, and we want to help you with your packages. Dog trainer here, this is a hack we want people to understand. One reason we can get your dog to do something so fast is because we use a high rate of reinforcement. Example, I'm training your dog to walk on leash without pulling, and we practice in your driveway. I feed the dog 20 tiny pieces of food by my knee as we walk to the end of the driveway. The first time a client tries the exercise, they may use 5. The mechanics of the exercise look easy, but it takes time to get used to, and when people are practicing on their own, they do other things instead of focus on the exercise. They forget how often they need to reinforce the dog for doing the right thing. If they do the exercise for 2 minutes during each walk with a high rate of reinforcement, ROR, that may be all it takes. And once the dog starts to learn, you can gradually slow down the ROR. Also, stop calling your dog's name to correct them. Their name is not a punishment. It should be used for endearment and get them to come to you. Use a real correction because calling their name over and over doesn't do and they don't understand. If you buy flights through Spirit at the airport, one of the random fees, it's called the user fee or something like that, doesn't apply. So they cost like half as much. I've flown round trip to Chicago for $30, Houston for $45, Miami for $50, etc. Okay, but you're kind of relying on flights having space, aren't you? If you or a teenager you know are admitted to a name brand or expensive or rich college and their financial aid package isn't enough, write them and ask them for more money. Mention the other schools you were admitted to and that you received strong financial packages from them. Do not mention specific numbers unless it's a named scholarship, egg presidential, or provost. At least 5 of my students this year got between 10-20 extra in scholarship money just by soliciting for it. Press 2 for Spanish. 90% of the time, the people manning the Spanish lines are bilingual, and the wait times aren't nearly as long. This is more like an unethical life hack, but it is true they would prefer you not find out about it. In Canada, the same often works for choosing the French line. A lot of the French language call centers are in New Brunswick, the only true bilingual province. Thank you so much for watching. What's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? Tell in the comments.